Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the 20 Years of Cthru27 podcast. A podcast attempting to answer some of life's most perplexing questions, such as why did Cthru only play at the Brickies in Norwich once? And why did Flatty only take one pair of pants for an 8-day stint across Europe? I'm Richard Trigg, guitarist in the band and your host. And in today's episode, I'm joined by other Cthru27 guitarist, Andrew Flatty Flatman, to see if we can answer these questions. Mr. Flatman, how's it going?
Really well, cheers mate, yourself?
I'm great, thank you very much. So as usual, we're going to go back to the very start. When does your story start with the band? What's your earliest memory?
I always think Cthru was kind of born out of the ashes of our teenage bands, really.
Yeah.
I think we started 2001, wasn't it? Yeah?
Yeah.
So the year before, 2000, I kind of remember that was when our other band fell apart.
Yeah, we just kind of stopped, didn't we?
Kind of stopped, and obviously that was with yourself and Paul.
Yeah.
And then obviously Liam and Johnny were in Hookworm.
Yeah.
So we'd all been in bands before, and then there was the Annex.
The Annex, yeah.
And didn't seem like there was a lot going on, really, at that point, was there, really?
I remember going over to Johnny's and he was playing me something he'd done with Toby.
Yeah. Where did Johnny live then?
In Raiden.
Yeah.
And he'd played me something he'd been working on with Toby, which had Jess on it. And
and
I remember that's when I first heard Jess, and I was like, Jess sounds great.
Is that them little demos they made in K-Land with Toby?
I don't know.
I think it might be.
But then I'd just got like Cubase on an old Windows machine or whatever.
Yeah, and then the Annex.
So I was then just knocking out tunes and. You know, and I remember getting Jess to sing on one. And
so I remember going around yours and you showing me, it must have been Beautiful Sky, right?
Maybe one of those really early kind of things, yeah.
But I think the first memory of us actually playing was obviously that practice at Fuzzy's.
Oh yeah, the first one.
Yeah, because that was with Joe Leffley and it was Barry, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
there's a picture.
That picture, yeah.
With Liam with a tree.
Yeah. I can remember that.
And then Adam joined... did we sort out Adam through Joe?
Yeah, that was later.
I remember me and you went to see Adam, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
So that happened, and then Joe left.
Yeah.
And then obviously Paul, innit?
Yeah.
That was it,
so
and that's how the lineup came together.
2000. That was.
But I can't remember our
maybe.
first practice with the lineup, like with Paul and Adam.
Yeah.
Was it at Fuzzy's as well?
God, see, Paul couldn't remember this either. I can't remember.
I remember what we were playing. We had, it was High School Killer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was one of our first tunes that we played. Looking back on that now, I was like, how is that a good idea?
Yeah,
but
it's probably the worst song we've ever been involved in.
But you recorded it at yours, that one as well?
Yeah, I did, yeah. That's right.
Our first gig was the Seagull, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think the second one was Blue Notes. We did one at Blue Notes.
Oh, yeah, it might have been with Ben Lever's band, Shoot the Jester.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Yeah,
pretty good gig.
Yeah, I don't remember playing it, but I do remember.
I remember it being pretty good.
I do remember the poster. I think I've got that poster somewhere.
Yeah. So that was, it was good times back then.
Podcasting Cthru27, a little bit like casting when you're birding, but with less bacon and less fish hooks.
In previous episodes so far, we've talked about the old Rehearsal Spaces, and obviously we just mentioned it then. But, I mean, for every band really, Rehearsal Spaces are an important part of the story really. It's, you know, the amount of time that you spend in Rehearsal Spaces.
Yeah.
But what do you remember about the different Rehearsal Spaces that we've sort of been in with Cthru over the years, and what do you think is your favourite rehearsal space that we've used over the years?
I think we spent quite a long time at Fat Music, didn't we? And that's where we wrote quite a lot of the early stuff, or rehearsed it at least, because the earliest stuff was written at yours.
Yeah. So that was in Salford, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. Fat Records, Fat Music.
Yeah.
And then that was when Baxter used to always come to our practices.
Yeah.
Good times.
When there was a selection of people that just randomly hung about.
Yeah. And then after that, we kind of went to the Sound House, I think, after that.
With Marty, yeah?
Yeah.
And I remember going down there once, and then this chap was there, and we were like, who's he? And it was Marty, and then obviously then we began our relationship with Marty when he then went to the Sound House, and then we just started going there and racking up debt there for the next few years.
I always call like the sort of 2003 to 2006 the golden years.
Yeah.
And that's when we went to the Sound House and we started writing a lot of tunes in the room.
Yeah.
You know?
We did, yeah.
All the sort of like The Good Life and Under Milkwood, all of those, that era.
Yeah.
Shape Up or Shit Out, Radio N, that was all done in a room, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I do kind of miss that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it was quite difficult towards the end of the golden years to do that because we're not running out of ideas, but it seemed like it was a bit of a struggle.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the most productive way. We did have a fleeting moment of productivity with it, didn't we? Where we did them songs, but
when you write in a room, sometimes you can sort of come up with an idea and it's just a non-starter.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go anywhere.
And there's a lot of cooks in our band, really, isn't there?
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of writing and a lot of different ideas, which can be problematic, I suppose, just to have that much input. Do you remember rehearsing in that studio in London? On
the day of the gig, right?
Yeah, gig. I think we had a couple of gigs, didn't we? Did we have a couple of gigs?
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that, but yeah, now you say it. It was like a sort of studio with loads of different rooms. Yeah. Wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
But I remember it being pretty cool.
I remember feeling like quite a big deal going in there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it felt like we had something happening.
Yeah. It was, and it felt quite far away from the days of being in Fuzzy's garage.
Yeah. I have fond memories of Fuzzy's, but I'd say that was more Lemma.
Swoosh time! Podcast time! See-through style.
Okay then, over the past few episodes I've asked people what their favourite ever see-through show is, and the answer has been pretty much the same answer, I think, so I thought I'd switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
And ask you what the worst ever see-through show was.
I think Colchester Arts Centre was pretty bad.
Unbelievably bad. Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Obviously at the end with Jess and you were really pissed as well and getting on the mic.
We got
and I think you said something along the lines of to the crowd, if you don't like it, then just fuck off.
Yeah, I definitely did
something
say
like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. Mate, we looked so bad.
Definitely. Thing is, we went into it quite tight, we were well rehearsed.
I think we were in a good place.
Yeah, and that was the problem, because we went to the pub.
We all got pissed, didn't we?
We were like, this is going to be brilliant.
Yeah.
Went to the pub, worst idea ever.
And it went tits up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one sticks out for me.
I remember.
What about yourself?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Liam reminded me the other day, though, at that show, someone had brought a tape recorder,
right,
and I'd forgotten about this until he said about it, but he had he said that someone had a tape recorder and Paul was playing Osric Tentacles and gave the tape recorder to Adam, who had just joined the band basically, who then walked in to the venue, the art centre, with it on his shoulder playing Osric Tentacles.
Oh my God, I remember that now. That was amazing. That was hilarious.
I mean, just to add insult to injury, because obviously then we got drunk and it was
a nightmare, weren't we?
And then it was horrendous. So we looked.
Whose ghetto blaster was it anyway?
I have no idea. Probably Paul's. Who knows? But it was.
Wow.
That was a funny memory.
I remember it being a good day up until the point we actually played.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
So the shows after that, the shows were okay. But what do you reckon the strangest show is? I mean, like back in the day, we used to get put on some really stupid bills with metal bands and hip hop bands, and we even did shows with like drum and bass people. Do you remember? Like it was pretty weird billing. But there's been some strange shows, like where we played in someone's house. Do you remember that?
a house party, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a bit
That
odd.
was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's just been some really strange...
The one in Mendham was a bit weird as well, wasn't it?
Mendham?
That's
right.
the one, that gig near Halsworth. Johnny
Right.
turned up late, really pissed.
I don't know. That happened quite a few times, obviously.
Yeah.
Some weird shows over the years.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it for nothing though.
No, and we played with some cool bands as well, you know.
Yeah.
Like, who do you think are the bands that stood out for you that you can remember?
I think some of my fondest memories of playing at the Arts Centre,
Right.
like Wombat.
Yeah.
So some of them bands like Violet,
Yeah.
they were one of my favourites. But
Yeah.
they played with us again at the Arts Centre, didn't they?
Yeah.
2013.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
definitely one of my favourites. But what I was just wondering, you might be able to help me on this, like when we played with like any sort of heavy bands, you know, rock bands. They would have been London more.
Yeah, I remember a great band we played with once called Nex. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
In London?
Yeah.
I know, who do you think had the biggest impact on you as a band? I mean, they don't need to be just the local bands. They could be bands that we've played with or, you know, supported.
I'll tell you, did we, you know, that band Innocence or Otherwise?
Yeah.
That really liked them.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of the guy is the front man.
But
That's it, Bert.
yeah.
Loved those guys. I think that's probably the one that sticks out for me.
Yeah. So
Really
yeah,
like those guys. They
Yeah.
played with us at the brewery, yeah?
Yeah, played with us loads of times. So, but
Yeah, who else supported us at the brewery in that golden era?
always Dacro, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we had Womble's band
Yeah.
called Your Loss. They played with us. 5 Mile Drive played
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah, No, I loved Bert's band. They were really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to check out. So Brad, the guitar player, is in a new band called Pray Drive in Norwich. You want to check them out?
Yeah.
Really cool. What see-through song do you think you have the strongest emotional connection to?
It always used to be Lyrical Force,
Okay.
because that was always my favourite to play at the gig.
Yeah.
It just had that slightly darker vibe to it
Yeah.
than the others, and just the pounding drums on the verse,
Yeah.
and just Johnny's lyrical pressure on it, amazing.
Yeah.
Just to just go off at shows.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I think now it would be How Many You Kiss.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Just the 2013 shows, just that particular song went off
Yeah.
in a big way. So yeah, I think How Many You Kiss, to be honest, out of the older stuff.
Yeah.
Newer stuff, probably Stargazing, I reckon.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, because it is emotional,
Yeah, it is.
and
Probably the
yeah.
most emotional we've ever gone with a song, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
And
down
I
to
love it.
Johnny, but
I love the emotion in music anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about.
yeah.
You know, and I love Johnny's the way he flows on how you've done it on the demo. Hopefully we'll replicate it, but it's kind of sort of an overlappy,
Yeah.
spiralling
A
down,
lot of
kind
ad-libs,
of
yeah.
delivery.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
It is,
I love
yeah.
it.
So, do you think Lyrical Force is your favourite track to perform live then as well?
Not now.
Okay.
How Many You Kiss, probably.
All right.
But both songs kill my hands.
Okay, yeah, they're the same thing all the way through, right?
Yeah.
Just about.
And I've noticed since I've got older, that's got worse.
Okay. Everything's got worse as we've got older, mate.
Yeah. Lactic acid builds up quicker now.
What's your most embarrassing moment in See-Through?
Oh, God, that's a hard one. Probably my appearance of every single show between 2001 and 6.
Okay.
Because I didn't understand that you had to wear clothes that fit.
Right.
And my bloody dreadlocks, I looked a bloody state.
I think it was a strong character, mate. I think it was a strong character.
It's embarrassing me for me to look at that now. But that's the old scatty me,
Right.
I guess. Best left in the past, really. Thinking about a particular moment.
Yeah, a particular moment.
Luckily, I haven't had too many on stage, but I think maybe getting us banned from the Brickies was quite a bad one.
Forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Good one. So that was, we
Smoking.
did a we did a showcase for a label called Integrity Records, who were going to sign us, which was like amazing. And Wombat threw together a sort of showcase for us, and it was just rammed. It was really cool. The show was great. And
was that the one where we took the coach along and all that?
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, and then
awesome.
You managed to get us banned from the Brickmakers in Norwich.
I stupidly smoked up a joint outside, and she caught me, and she kicked off pretty hard about it, to be honest. She was like, I could lose my licence, blah, 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 blah. She was obviously pretty anti.
Yeah, well, fair enough, but...
Yeah, of course. Some pubs in Norwich, you can just get away with it, but obviously not there.
Yeah, so that ended our stint of being able to play at Brickmakers, but...
Yeah, sorry about that.
Well...
But yeah.
Funny story now, though.
Indeed.
What do you reckon is the most quintessential See-Through song? So, like, if you could show one See-Through song to someone who's never heard of the band, which one would you show them?
I think I'm torn between two, really.
Yeah, go on.
Radio N.
Yeah, that's mine.
Because, obviously, you know, it's normally our opener.
Yeah.
Just a banger, isn't it?
Yeah.
Straight up banger. And then the other one would be Shape Up or Shit Out, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that song doesn't get the love it deserves sometimes.
It's a great tune.
Great chorus. Brilliant harmony on it as well.
Yeah.
I love
it's
that.
a great tune. I mean, Radio N, though, just kind of probably got a bit of everything in it, I suppose.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a hip-hop feel, but it's still got the rock.
Yeah.
And I think I just play the simplest thing ever on it. It's just the bass line over the top. But that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
And Johnny carries it. Paul's got a fat hip-hop beat, and it's just a great blend.
The other one, which is worthy of a mention, I think, for me, would be Under Milk Wood.
Yes.
I think that's got the same essence as Radio N. You could show that to someone and they can get the gist of what See-Through is about, really.
Absolutely. And I've got good memories of that from the early era, like Exit.
Yeah.
Played it amazing there.
Yeah.
If you look back on the video, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Really good moment. But our recording of that is pretty cool.
Yeah, loved.
And the video.
Yeah, love it. I love that tune.
Actually, you've done a really good job on the syncing as well. Like,
thanks, mate.
Yeah, it looks natural.
Yeah.
Like even the bits where I'm doing the backing vocals, you've got them in there.
Yeah.
That looks really cool. Yeah, I watched it the other day.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's good to use
but
that footage.
It's not as good as the running video.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That, if no one's seen that, by the way, check it out on our YouTube.
Yeah.
I won't say what it is. Leave it for the surprise. But yes, it's awesome.
It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Inspired by Alfie.
It was, yeah. You mentioned it earlier, but like we've spent so much time over the years travelling about in vans and stuff.
Yeah.
What is your favourite or most memorable on the road story? Obviously, there's a few I can think of.
Yeah.
The car fire springs to mind, obviously. But
oh, don't. We'll briefly go into it.
Yeah.
We were recording with Robin.
Yeah, we're doing demos for Radio N.
Yeah, which is a funny session.
Yeah.
Brilliant weekend, wasn't it? I thought.
Odd, but yeah.
Odds, ups and downs.
Yeah.
Tears, the lot. Incredible. It all started going downhill when we went back to the car and the stereo had been nicked.
That was right, yeah.
And all my tapes as well.
Yeah.
I was gutted. And I just remember you, when we were leaving, you were like, don't worry, we've got the tunes on my phone. And you started putting ringtones on.
All right, nice.
Did you remember that?
No.
Hilarious. Yeah. And then we were driving back, about halfway back, and we stopped at a petrol station, and we were like, really should sort these wires out, you know.
Yeah.
Weren't we? Didn't we? We didn't.
No.
We were driving, and then there was a bit of smoke coming out of the dashboard.
You said, put your hand in there, that's well hot in there.
Did I?
Yeah.
Right. And then smoke started coming out, and you were like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop now.
We've got a problem.
Yeah. So we got out, and then before long, you had obviously risked your life to get the stuff out.
Got a bit of it out, yeah.
But didn't get to my effects pedal at the bottom, but it went completely up, burnt to a shell, wasn't it?
Standing at the side of the road watching the car just burn.
I think I cried.
It was pretty horrendous.
Yeah.
It was like really early
Probably
hours
the
in the
most
morning.
shocking thing that's happened to me, I reckon. Still.
Yeah, I mean, it's
but in
definitely
terms
up there.
of funny, I think Corfe Castle was
the Dorset trip.
Yeah. So we played a gig in London, Bull and Gate.
Maybe Bull and Gate. Yeah,
I think it was a one-off.
Yeah.
Didn't think we ever did. It was a good gig. And we were already pretty pissed.
Yeah.
And someone said, shall we go and see Jane in Dorset?
Someone...
And Ginge was like driving the van and he was like, yeah, I'm up for it.
Okay, yeah.
But who was there in the van?
I can't...
Julie was there.
No idea.
Julie was there.
Yeah.
We drove down there and I remember Ginge dropping us off for a piss.
No, we broke down, didn't we?
Oh, is that what it was?
We broke down, but because we were all bundled in the back of a van with no seats...
I was drinking cider.
When the AA came, we couldn't all be in there. So we all got out of the motorway somewhere between London and Dorset.
Yeah.
And had to walk along the motorway whilst waiting for the AA or whoever to come out and fix the van. And
yeah.
we finally...
Crazy. We got there, and by that point, we were pissed as... We got there, we went... I remember vaguely, it's so... like vague by this point. We went into our house and they were all sleeping.
Everyone was... It was about 5 in the morning.
And then I remember going into the garden and there was loads of tents and stuff, and then we were like, shall we go to the castle?
Yeah, that's right.
And we broke into the castle and you were like pulling Julie up going, come on, get over there. So yeah, that was just funny. And we went to the top of the castle and then in the morning there was this parade thing.
Was, yeah.
And we got stuck in that.
Like Morris Men or something.
Yeah.
And then drove back.
Yeah. Crazy mission, mate.
Completely pointless mission.
I love those. They're the best ones.
Well, yeah.
That was spontaneous as well.
That was funny.
They're the best ones.
What are you looking forward to most about See Through being back, and what do you think the future or the foreseeable future holds for the band?
Well, I'll firstly say that I'm just really loving being back.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I love all of the new music.
Yeah.
It's more... It's got a maturity to it.
Yeah.
I think it's on another level.
Yeah.
To what we were doing before. And I'm really excited about recording it. And really looking forward to the tracks after that as well.
Yeah.
It's got some really good ideas lined up there.
Yeah. How has it been being back in a room with everyone again? Do you think it feels different this time around, or is the bullying worse now?
The bullying's worse now.
Right.
I reckon. Or maybe it's just the same. I don't know. Seems to be worse.
Right.
But that's a good thing, because that's part of the fun of being in a room with people, right?
Yeah.
Having a laugh. But I really enjoy just being in a room playing in a band with people. That's why you do it, and it just feels great. The thing that's different now is we play to a click.
Yeah.
But I actually think, again, I think Liam said it before, like it's probably a better thing.
Yeah.
Because we did have issues before where we'd probably play everything a bit too fast. It makes it more focused.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think playing to a click allows you to kind of be more comfortable with the pace, and especially for Johnny, like being the same each time, and the delivery of his vocal. Consistency, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a big change.
Yeah.
Another big change would be we haven't written these songs in a room.
Yeah.
Obviously, you and Johnny have been sort of the driving force of the writing.
Yeah.
But I'm totally happy with that, because at the end of the day, the content is great.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy to play those parts.
Yeah.
Because I know that it works.
Yeah.
I can hear that it works. But before, obviously, had a bit more involvement with coming up with my own guitar licks and stuff. But
well, some of those songs, yeah. But I mean, if you look at like How Many You Kiss was written in the Annex.
Yeah. Who wrote the guitar lick?
I wrote that in Toby Doy's garage when we were smoking out one day, like many moons ago, over in Southwell, just on a nylon string guitar.
Cool. Oh yeah, it was as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but again, like I just think some of them songs we've been lucky and just pulled out of the air, and some Radio when all of those were pulled out of the air in a room. You know? But sometimes
it's funny. I remember Liam saying back in the day, "Where do these songs come from?"
Yeah,
they just happen.
Sometimes,
and the best music that we came up with, I never felt that it was a struggle to write them. They wrote themselves.
They did, yeah. And
same with any music, really. When I'm making my own music, like I just find when you're writing, it must have been the same when you're doing these new tunes.
Yeah,
they wrote themselves, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it quite easy for you?
Yeah, like I remember, like one of the new songs. If you remember, I just had this vocal, and I don't understand where it came from. I've probably nicked it from somewhere, but
yeah.
I just had this vocal, and I texted you, didn't I? I was like, "Can you record me some vocals that go like this.
Yeah.
So then put
You've
them
been
down.
doing that quite a lot.
And then just wrote the guitar around that.
I guess that's probably been my biggest involvement in the writing process, is doing backing vocals.
Kind of crucial though, because it kind of dictates where, especially on that song, it was all built around that, the whole song.
Yeah.
So, but like I think it was Paul who was saying, essentially it is like how we were originally writing all them original See-Through songs anyhow.
Yeah,
me and Johnny just
it
knocking
was
out.
you and Johnny to start with.
Rough demos and then...
But it's good. That's good for writing, because you come up with what it is first, and you know that it works.
Yeah.
And it's been quite easy for us to get them going, hasn't it? Like live.
Yeah.
It's been... I never remember it being a struggle, or like being like, oh no, this is too much, or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting pretty much ready to do it now.
Yeah, well, when this comes out, we'll be at the mill in this tracking the new record, which would be cool. And it would have been 8.5 years since we were even last in the studio together doing anything, which was the Under Milk Wood sessions we did. Yeah. But out of all of the studio sessions that we've ever done, what's been your favourite studio experience with See-Through, do you think, and why do you reckon that is?
It's quite easy for me, this one. The Mill Radio N EP. Yeah, absolutely that. I really enjoyed working with Johnny Cole. Yeah. And Dave engineered it as well, did a good job. Great drum sound. But that was the most that we'd ever picked apart what we'd done with a producer, I think. Yeah. That was quite fun. I mean, I remember being not as open-minded to changes as I should have been at the time, but it worked out great.
You're famously quite precious about some ideas.
I do, because when I sort of like something, it's like I hold on to that. Yeah. But it's maybe a weakness, I don't know. But I think that was all of the stuff that Johnny Cole did sort of added a bit of an extra vibe.
Absolutely,
to it. And
I think he became the 7th member of the band for that month or two when we were making that record.
He seemed to enjoy it himself and get into it.
Yeah.
But I remember it being really funny as well. Hilarious time.
Yeah.
The bants.
There was lots of bants.
Yeah. We were on form.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
But yeah, you can hear from that record, just listen to it, how great it turned out.
I stayed at a petting zoo in Garbaldersham whilst we made Radio N by myself.
Yeah, you didn't camp in the garden, did you? We did.
Hell no.
That was alright.
No, I stayed at a petting zoo. But I didn't realise...
They had the caravan, didn't they?
Caravan, yeah. I believe the caravan's still there. I mean, that's...
Is it?
When this comes out, we'll probably be sitting in the caravan, huddled around the wireless, listening to you on the podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, a little briefly, about the creative process this time round, but do you think you've approached it differently yourself to how you would have done in the past, the creative process and the playing and...
Yeah.
Hang on. Fucking Gemma, dog!
I think so, yeah. I think it's been more a case of we've written the tracks already. Yeah. So it's just a case of sort of learning them. Right. So it's more learning rather than writing. Right. But I've been totally, like I said before, I've been totally happy to do that because I love all the parts anyway, how you've wrote them. There's been a few extra sort of spicy bits that we've added, which is cool.
You seem to be taking quite a big role with the backing vocals with Johnny this time round.
Yeah, Johnny's been really sort of vocal on what he wants me to do and stuff, which has been quite a challenge for me.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah, it's difficult doing two things at once. Yeah. You know? Some of the things we've had to change about just so I can do that. Yeah. But I think that will really develop more after we've recorded and then obviously rehearsing for the show. Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. I love all that stuff and it's just good fun really.
Yeah, I mean it sounds great. What's your proudest or most unforgettable moment in the band so far?
There's a couple. I think Radio NEP is the proudest thing that we've created so far.
Yeah, definitely.
But in terms of achievements, I think just going to Serbia that first time. Yeah. And the whole driving there thing. Yeah. And that just how big it felt at the time. It was just such a big thing for us.
Yeah. Do you remember in the van or bus, whatever you want to call it, on the way?
Bus, yeah.
On the way there, do you remember how many times you had your pants pulled down?
Over 10.
Over 10.
Double figures, innit? And on the way back, you sprayed my hair with shaving foam.
That's true. And sugar.
Yeah. Is that what it was?
In dreadlocks, yeah.
Nightmare.
It probably smelled better.
That same pair of shorts.
Yeah.
The whole weekend.
I mean, I've told that story many times, but I mean, I might as well just tell it now. I said to you, how many pairs of pants have you got? And he goes, well, I've got one, and I've got this pair of shorts, but that's all right because I didn't sweat.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
That I didn't sweat then.
Of course you didn't. It was only about 35 degrees for about 8 days. But funny times.
I got away with it though.
Did you?
I think so.
Okay.
No one complains. Yeah.
True story.
But yeah, what about communal backwash?
Yeah. We had what was that, a 5 litre tub of water that just constantly went round.
And then we had obviously beer the whole time as well.
The lav
on the way.
Yeah.
Remember the home straight? We were listening to Oasis.
Yeah.
Weren't we?
Yeah.
With the lav.
Driving
on it
through, or driving past Bosnia.
We were on a high then.
Yeah, that was
what a moment.
I think it's because we'd picked up loads of beer.
Yeah.
And we had been beerless for about 24 hours at that point, just drinking warm
Most
communal.
incredible trip of my life, honestly.
Yeah, it was special.
Yeah.
So finally, imagine if you could put on your dream local show.
Right.
Who's playing? Who's headlining? Who's supporting? What's the venue? Go.
Okay. Well, I know that this isn't possible now, but Cherry Wax headlining.
Okay, nice.
But yeah, R.I.P. Dunks. Cruel Blinds.
You want Cruel Blind to support Cherry Wax?
99.
All right.
In 99 era.
Are they supporting Cherry Wax?
Yeah, I think Cherry Wax would headline because they're my favourite.
This is quite an eclectic bill then.
Yeah.
Right.
I think See-Through would have to be on there somewhere.
Okay.
Surely, come on.
Right.
Dacrophilia, opening set.
Nice.
Get the vibes going with some 80s pop.
Right.
Brilliant.
And where's it happening?
At the brewery.
At the brewery.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
So, dream local show, we're saying Dacrophilia opening.
Yeah.
See-Through, Cruel Blind, Cherry Wax, at the brewery.
Something for everyone.
Ace.
Awesome.
It's been fun chatting.
Nice.